Still, I can't think of anywhere else Claudia would be. Hello?
ああ、通じましたね。リンド、ことね。今どのあたりでしょう。現在地を教えてもらえますか？
Yeah. Bill's voice was as calm as ever. I immediately turn the phone to speaker mode so Mr. Rindo can hear him as well. I then send him our GPS location. And then...
ちょうど良い位置にいますね。先ほどから私もアンシャンテを中心に周囲を調べてみたのですが、その付近、前回リンドウがカリアと遭遇した場所にて異常なほどの気温低下を確認しました。
A decrease in temperature? Could that be...
カリア君だね。でも倉庫の中だけじゃなく周辺にまで影響を及ぼしてるってことは。
ええ、おそらくですが妖精の力が暴走しているのでしょうね。とはいえ私ならばすぐに追いついて彼を捕獲できますのでご安心を。
Mr. Rindo crosses his arms and thinks over Ill's suggestion. His voice changed a little, as it seemed he had come to make a decision.
いや、いる。君はミシェルたちに連絡しつつ上空で待機してくれないかな。できればその氷の力とやらを結界か何かでそれ以上広げないよう抑えてくれると助かる。彼には僕が向き合うから。
なぜですか？ただの人間であるあなたよりも私が出た方が確実かつ安全でしょう。
もっともな意見だけどね。彼はまだ半分人間なんだ。人間であることを諦めていないんだよ。なら同じ人間の大人である僕こそが彼を導いてあげなきゃいけない。
Mr. Rindo. As he spoke quietly, I will tell him please be careful. Please be careful. If something happens to you, like when you met Karia for the first time.
心配してくれてありがとう。でも大丈夫だよ。僕もそれなりに修羅場をくぐってるからね。
It was really a hard call, but in the end I nodded to Mr. Rindo in agreement with his idea. Ill, if something happens, I'm gonna ask you and everyone for help. For right now, I hope you can get behind Mr. Rindo and his point of view.
構いませんが、ではミシェルたちには私の方から連絡しておきます。
After hanging up, I looked at Mr. Rindo. Mr. Rindo, let's go.
OK。じゃ、こんな夜分にうろつく不良少年へお説教しに行くとしようか。
The weather was quick to change, and raindrops began to fall from the sky. Mr. Rindo and I ran through the rain and quickly reached the old abandoned factory. I'm about to say warehouse. And there we found him. Predictable. It wasn't a feeling, it was real. A terrifyingly cold chill ran across my skin, as if protected by the white, freezing air that hung over the warehouse. This child froze everything around him with each breath he took. Arya. Oh, very intense. Jesus. I could see it in his eyes. The composure I had seen yesterday was no longer there. Thinking about fairies, what should he believe in, being afraid of his past? I'm sure he was blind to any of those thoughts right now.
もともとも不安定というか限界だったんだろうね。
It's because he was mentally exhausted that all of this happened.
かな。まあ今後の人生の身の振り方なんて中学生が抱えきれるような問題じゃないよね。
Determined, Mr. Rizzo softly continued.
どれだけ拒絶しようと答えは出さなきゃいけない。出すための一歩を踏み出さなきゃいけない。考えることを放棄したら最後なんだ。その先にあるのは虚しい結果だけ。だから僕は今から彼に教えなきゃいけない。同じ人間として。あとはいろんなことを後悔してきた人生の先輩、大人としてね。
Mr. Rindo.
乙女ちゃん、君はここで待ってて。幸い彼、自分の身を守ってるだけで近づかなければ大丈夫そうだし。
Mr. Rindo continued, his breath white from the cold as he smiled.
君には彼が大暴れして疲れた後、美味しいコーヒーを入れてあげる役目を任せたいんだ。
Of course, Enchante is always there to treat its guests to a delicious coffee and a nice place to rest.
いいね。それでこそアンシャンテのマスターだよ。
Smiling even though he was worried about me, Mr. Rindo turned toward Karya.
さてと。
Ooh, he got a knife in his hand. In this intense cold, he took off a layer, under which he was hiding something. He held up a weapon, and then...
それ!
He threw it to the ground without hesitation, okay? To show that he's not gonna approach you trying to fight. Surprised at this action, Karya's eyes were obviously shocked.
この間は怖がらせちゃったからね。そのお詫びもあるけど、もとより子供へのお説教に武器なんて必要ないさ。
Mr. Rindo walks forward. He advanced toward Karya, defenseless, as ice kept spreading everywhere.
Get in up!
Oh my god. No, don't graze his pretty face. What's wrong with you? Ice flies by and grazed Mr. Rindo's face. Okay, he took that like a G. But he doesn't try it and dodge them. He continues walking straight, directly toward Karya, but it was eventually too much. And nothing shows from a grazed face. Oh, what happened? Coughing, he fell to his knees, and as he was about to lose consciousness, Mr. Rindo! I called to him without thinking. He woke.
おお、危ない危ない。今なら眠ったら死ぬぞとかいうお決まりのセリフの意味がわかるかも。
Under biting frost, he forces his frozen face into a smile.
でもいいね。あの子の声はこんな場所でもよく通る。おかげで目が覚めたよ。
Mr. Rindo finally reached Karya and stood right. Oh my god, I need to drink some coffee because I'm going right back to sleep. Mr. Rindo finally reached Karya and stood there right before his eyes. Although he did nothing but stand there, menacingly, staring right into Karya's face, menacingly. Unable to withstand the pressure. Oh my god. Yikes. It was Karya. What? Blasting white frost everywhere. Fresh blood splatters the surroundings. What the hell? What happened? The arm Karya put up to protect himself went limp. Oh my god! Mr. Rindo! Mr. Rindo grunted with sharp blades of ice thrusted into his body. Oh, there's that gash. The blood spilling from him left swirled marks on the ice.
さすがに君もここまでのことはしたことないだろ
う。違う。今のは俺じゃ。
Look what you did. I have to snap you out. Like it's just in his shoulder, so I'm not freaking out. After Mr. Rindo struggled to speak, Karya crouches down on impulse. Trying to shake off the reality of the situation, he began to shake his head too.
Abe Karya!
Ooh. His shout echoed through the building.
逃げるな！僕をよく見ろ。これが考えることを放棄した君がもたらしうる結末の一つ。君が容易に震える力なんだ。命が危ういとか、どこに住まうべきだとか、この際今はどうでもいい。自分が何者なのかを直視しろ。
俺は
でなければ君はまた同じことを繰り返すことになるぞ。今度は大事だと思う人を相手に。
Karya gulped down in shock.
これが俺。父さんと母さんを傷つけるかもしれない存在。
ああ、そうだよ。逃げ続けて、ふと気がついた時にそんな悲劇が起きてからじゃ遅いんだ。自慢のご両親なんだろう。君の力を知ってもなお受け入れてくれた人たちなんだろう。だが少しでいい。自信を持つんだ。彼らが認めてくれた自分が何者であろうと変わることはないって。
Tears streamed from Karya's eyes. The drops hit the ground silently. Oh, that's him, sorry. Everybody has these damn K names.
ごめんなさい。
All the ice around us started to break apart. At the same time, the shards of ice that pierced Mr. Rendo broke apart as well. His body fell to the ground. Mr. Rendo! I ran over to him and held him up, but that didn't change the fact he had serious injuries.
俺のせいで。
Karya knelt beside me and looked like there was still terror lingering within him. Then, with his face all twisted, clearly showing the severity of his injuries, Mr. Rendo forces himself to smile.
泣かなくていい。反省は後でいいさ。ともかく今、また君は多くの力を使ったんだ。早いところ。ダメだこれ。さすがに限界。琴音ちゃんごめん。あと任せた。
Did I pick the wrong choice?
Oi!
Mr. Rendo? Right as Mr. Rendo had completely lost consciousness.
リンドって普段は適当なくせに妙なところで頑固だよね。
Oh gosh.
そんだけこのガキに思うところがあって自分でケリをつけたかったんだろう。
Mizier, Ignis, what do I do? Mr. Rendo, he...
ああ、大丈夫。ちゃんと助けるよ。すぐにアンシャンテへ向かおう。イルとカノスも手当ての準備をして待ってる。
Oh, that's convenient.
まあリンドは人間の病院の方がいいんだろうが、怪我の原因を追求されたらめんどくせえだろ。
大丈夫なの？この人死なない？
心気性化をすんなガキ。こんぐらいでくたばる程度のやつにアンシャンテの監視役なんて務まらねえよ。
Ignis effortlessly lifted up Mr. Rendo's body, and we hurried back to the cafe. The rain that was drenching the streets had stopped, and the droplets of water on the windows began to thin. After Mr. Rendo was carried up to one of the empty rooms on the second floor, Il began to use his powers to heal him. Although he had lost a lot of blood, his wounds fortunately weren't as deep as I thought. I'm sure he's resting soundly in his bed right now. Meanwhile, as Karya sat there quietly in the store, do you want something to drink? You didn't get to finish your drink the last time you were here after all.
怖くないわけ。
Huh?
こうして俺と一緒にいるの怖くないのかって話。俺がさっき何したかあんただって見てただろ。
Kaoru is shaking as he asked me that. Aww. He was terrified at the answer he thought I was going to give him. Before I answer that, I'd like to ask you to do something.
お願い？
Try drinking my coffee. I poured coffee extracted from dark roast beans into a glass with ice in it. I made sure to be quick as the flavor would dissipate if it cooled too slowly. It needed to be on the thick side too, otherwise the flavors would get dull. Here you go. I handed the iced coffee to Karia, who looks at me with a suspicious face.
どう見たって普通のコーヒーにしか見えないけど。
Hey, I am still learning. Just try a sip. I watch quietly as the young boy hesitantly brings the cup to his mouth. How does it taste?
普通。
Average isn't bad. It isn't good either, but it's average. Here I was hoping you'd love it. I still got a lot to learn.
でもこれ魔王とか鎧の人とかが飲んでたのと同じだろ。だからてっきりすごい味とか変な効果があるのかと思ってた。
No, nothing like that at all. This place is it's a regular cafe. With a look of bewilderment on his face, I smile softly and continue. Mizir, Canis, Il, Ignis, and Mr. Rindo. All the coffee I serve to them is completely ordinary human world. Let me read that again. All the coffee I serve to them is from this completely ordinary human world. But everyone loves drinking it, and they all have preferences. I brought the coffee I poured to my mouth. The same beans as the one as in Karia's drink. But these were a light roast, and had a fairly light flavor to them. It's a pretty rough example, but I feel the differences between humans and non-humans are like coffee beans. Roast, water temperature, brewing method. The taste can change depending on all that, but the beans all come from the same place.
それ遠回しに俺は人間だよって慰めてくれてるわけ。
I don't need no sass now, boy. I'll stick ignorance on you. No. I tilt my head to the side and speak again. You're a non-human, regardless of who you are mentally. Physically, there's no denying it. But you know, in terms of being a guest here, drinking coffee, to me, Mr. Rindo's the same as everyone else. I wave my hand though, gesturing that I know I can't explain it very well. If you'll drink my coffee happily, it doesn't really matter who you are. It just makes me happy you're here, that you're here. So Karia Abe, personal guest of my shop, I want to say thanks for drinking my coffee. I'd love it if you came to visit again. Mr. Rindo said so too, remember? Believe in yourself like your parents do. You can be confident that I'm here to help. As owner of Enchante, you'll always be treated as a guest of this house, regardless of how you see yourself or what path you choose. Enchante will always welcome you to come and drink a cup of coffee.
あんたおかしいんじゃないの？人外をコーヒーに例えるとかさ。
You little bastard. You was crying like 2 seconds ago, and now you got the nerve to sass me? Ugh, teenagers at times. Oh, but Otome takes it in stride. I guess I gotten used to them. After a short silence.
でも結局は
Well, you ain't gonna talk so tough now?
俺にはもう選択肢なんて一つしかない。
Okay. Karia looked down. He managed to squeeze out the words that were bitter to him, that were as bitter to him as the coffee he tried.
両親には必死に隠してきたけど、最近はもう外で生活してるだけでも呼吸が苦しくなってくる。苦しくなって何も考えられなくなって、ふとしたことで力が漏れる。だからこのままじゃ俺 またさっきの林道さんみたいに誰かを
いやいや、勝手に殺さないでくれるかな。
Yeah, he's fine. Oh, I might have cut him off. Voice cuts Kario off, in which I cut him off. Surprised, I looked toward the sound, and there stood Mr. Rindo, wearing his signature smile.
おじさんもまだまだ未練がいっぱいあるからね。そう簡単には死ねないよ。例えば、そう、今期の特撮ものの最終回だってまだ見てないんだからね。
Mr. Rindo, you should still be resting.
心配ご無用。いるの若干適当な砲術のおかげで傷も塞がってるよ。
Winking at me, he sits down next to Karia. Karia's shoulders seem to flinch.
あ、ごめんなさい。俺のせいで怪我を。
言ったでしょ。心配ご無用って大した怪我じゃないさ。そう、わざわざ GPM に報告する必要もない程度のかすり傷ってね。
Understanding what Mr. Rindo meant, Karia's eyes opened wide. Mr. Rindo responds in turn.
ほんで、カリア君、君はどうしたい？
どうって俺は。
おっと、道が一つしかないって答えは現金かな。言ったろ、自分を信じろって。その信じた君を支えるのは大人の僕がやってやる。ここにいるマスターである彼女も、うちのとんでも常連もきっと君の力になってくれる。それでも君は君の望みを口にするのが怖いかい？
俺。
Karia squeezes his hand into a fist, and then
両親と離れたくない。一緒にいたい。死にたくない。
so like go to school, go to this, go to that, then go to Medio when, you know, further time remained to recuperate.
でもこの力で父さんと母さんを傷つける方がもっと怖い。どっちも選べないよ。どんなに中途半端でもそれ
Like,
が
you can have it both ways.
俺の選んだ答えなんだ。
You can have it both ways. You just not thinking about it. With a wavering voice, without enveloping himself in ice. Finally, as a normal middle school boy, he let out his true feelings.
それが君の答えか。なら僕も僕で約束を果たそうかな。君が選んだ道を支えるために。体は人外、心は人間。ミシェルの言葉を借りるなら、君はいわば半分半分。極めて特殊な状況だ。けどこのアンシャンテっていう場所は君と同じ半分半分なんだよ。
それってどういう。
Mr. Rindo glances at me and I nod. Kid, how can you not figure this out? Karia, I was talking with Mr. Rindo in the room earlier, but Do you want to help out here at the cafe?
はあ、このガキを店で雇うだ
He's 14. He can work. Well, this is Japan. Never mind. But in America, you could work as early as 14, 15, or 13, 14. Depends on the state, I think. But I think 14 is the earliest you can start working. Hell, you could probably start working earlier than that, but that's child labor laws. I used this opportunity when everyone was here handling cleanup from the incident and nursing Mr. Rendo's wounds to discuss the matter. What?
なるほど。アンシャンテで働くことで定期的に養成会を訪れさせるってことか。
それだけじゃないよ。帝の話だと、カリア君の症状は養成会に触れる機会さえ増えれば徐々に改善するものらしい。時間はかかるかもしれないけど、うまくいけばそのうち学校にも通えるようになるんじゃないかな。
Y'all have distance learning?
ですがそれは根本的な解決になっていないのでは？アンシャンテから長期にわたって離れればすぐさま彼は命の危機に陥るのでしょう？
あくまで決断を先延ばしにするだけに過ぎんだろう。だが
I'm suggesting this because of what Kadia decided just now. I just want to prioritize what he wants.
先延ばし、大いに結構じゃない。それだって彼が持ってる立派な権利だ。もちろん将来的には自分で生きる道を決めなきゃいけない。また大きな選択があるのは間違いない。
With a gesture from Mr. Rindo, Kadia agrees with a nod. Kadia Abe has a human mind due to changeling, a young man raised with the body of a fairy. At Rindo's persuasion, to determine his own future, he came to Enchante as a temporary help.
その参考にするためにちゃんと自分への向き合い方とか人外の生き方とか力とかこのアンシャンテでの日常を見て勉強したい。
いいんじゃない？人外を身近に感じるって意味ではこんなにぴったりな場所はないだろうし。
Ignis, are you okay with this?
なんで俺の許可を求めんだよ。確かに驚きはしたが今のマスターはお前だろ。だったら好きにすりゃいい。
Ignis waved my question away, but seemed to be in agreement. You mean in agreement? Along with everyone else. Thank you. Come on, Cardia. I don't know. What? Let's greet everyone. I guess so. Let's say thank you. I mean, yeah, he doesn't officially know everyone, so I guess let's greet him. You'll be a member of Enchante now, so proper introductions are in order, alright?
わかった。
Okay. Your face says you giving me sass, but what you just said kind of conflicts with that. But I'll take that as you're being compliant.
阿部カリア、14歳、中学生。人外のこと、まだまだ俺自身も分かってないけど、これからよろしくお願いします。
Aww.
よろしくね。俺は魔王様のミシェル。何でも気軽に聞いてちょうだいな。
我はメディオの首なし騎士ことデュラハン、カヌス・エスパードだ。
デュラハン首なし。首がない。
Yes. I'm glad you finally realized that. Wait, you just now noticed that?
だってメディオにいるときは首あったし、あと鎧着てた
Oh
し。
yeah, that's true. Oh, that's right. Well, you'll get used to it. I just kind of got used to it too.
そういうものかな。
I don't know. We'll have to find out in his route if we're ever. Bleh, I can't even talk today. We'll find out if we'll ever get to it. His route, that is. Once Karya's introductions and greetings were over, Bill looks over to Mr. Rindo.
しかし無茶をしましたね、リンド。まだ傷は塞がっていないはずでは。
What? Is that true?
ええ、私は治癒系の砲術は増えてとしていますから、施したのはあくまで応急処置程度。
Get your ass to a hospital, Mr. Rindo. What's wrong with you? Didn't Mr. Rindo say that his wounds had closed up? I glanced over at Mr. Rindo, who smiled to dismiss the matter.
そこはほら鍛え方が違うから。マスターの愛ある励ましのおかげでもうすっかり良くなったよ。
Really? He's transforming into the grape jelly man. Mizir's eyebrows peaked and slowly began to stand up. And with casual movements, he gets behind Mr. Rindo and...
Hey.
He gently pokes at his ribs with his finger. Yeah, out of context, this doesn't look good. This really doesn't look good, quote unquote. Mr. Rindo, are you okay?
大丈夫大丈夫だよ。ただミシェル、君はいつか殴る。
ごめん。ついついね。元気になったらいつでも受け入れますとも。
Wrong your, by the way. What the fuck, Aksys?
痩せ我慢していたのか。油汗が大変なことになっているぞ。
おい琴音、この3割死人が10割死人になる前にとっととベッドに寝かしてこい。
Half dead ass is like full dead. Right.
俺も手伝いとか。
いや、ここは彼女に任せておけばいい。カリア、お前には我々から今しばし人外について話聞かせるとしよう。
Step by step, trying to reduce the impact on his body from each step, we carefully go up the stairs. I put Mr. Rindo's arm over my shoulders and support him as best I can. Well, your dumbass should have stayed up and rested. I see Otome has the freaking hentai protagonist look going on. Nice. I knew it. You were pushing yourself, huh? Don't you? Me. I sigh at Mr. Rindo, trying to laugh off the matter. He must have been enduring intense pain that whole time we were talking to Kadia. How many times do I have to tell you? You should have said something. You could have at least given me a little alert that you were planning on working yourself hard enough to go get injured.
カリア君偉そうにお説教した後に君にお説教されちゃうとは年上の威厳も固ましだね。
Mr. Rindo murmurs jokingly, but I suppose I should be relieved enough that he's still able to joke around at all. As I felt some relief within myself.
琴音ちゃん。
Yes?
カリア君のことあれでよかったのかな。
I'm not sure. That's up to Kadia now. But at the very least, I think he found the courage to honestly look at himself thanks to you. Rindo shouting in that moment. He reached him when no one else could.
そうか。僕の独りよがりになってないならいいんだけどね。
Huh?
彼が何も知らないままに異世界人外の世界に足を踏み入れてしまってその結果彼の精神や人生そのものが壊れてしまったらと思うとあの時止めていればそう自分が後悔する僕はそれだけは嫌だったんだ結局のところ僕は自分が可愛いだけの最低な大人だよ
Mr. Rindo seemed somewhat lonely, mumbling with and chastising himself. Mr. Rindo? Did something ever happen in the past between you and non-humans?
どうしてそう思うの
I just had a feeling. You didn't seem worried about the future. As much as you were feeling regret. That's how I heard it, anyway. Adding that I wouldn't pry any further. Mr. Rindo thanks me and smiled.
後悔はしてるよこの世界に何も考えず気楽に足を踏み入れた自分に対して心配しないで人外は危険とは思ってるけど別に毛嫌いしてるわけじゃないさただねもっと別の道があったのかもとふとした瞬間に思わずにはいられない偉そうに言っておきながら僕自身が選んだ道に自信が持てないんだだからまだ選ぶことができるカリア君にはそんな後悔してほしくない
After murmuring his explanation, Kaoru Rindo too. When it comes to non-humans, he gives unsparing warnings to help put his mind at rest. But it seems this attitude has come from past regrets. He promises to rest and lay on the bed in the guest room for the day. The tumultuous events surrounding the newest face at Enchante quietly came to an end. Okay, darling. Got Ignis. Alright, folks, so that was Kaoru Rindo's delve into his own world with the GPM. the government paranormalism measures. Yeah, I totally forgot what it meant the first time they threw it in our face, but now I know. So yeah, quite a heartwarming chapter. I wasn't like freaking out like before, because like, you know, you have a fallen angel. I'm pretty sure he could patch you up just fine. So, I mean, the theme of death so far, it's like nothing to be concerned about, really. But still a nice chapter. Karia Abe, he seems pretty cool. No pun intended. I totally didn't mean to do that. But yeah, I'm interested to see. I didn't think it was going to be anybody else, like a regular in the store. But, you know, that changed. So, looking forward to seeing how, you know, with this new dynamic, they're going to interact with each other. What exactly Karya's gonna do, how that's gonna impact him, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Ignis's chapter for next week. And yeah, folks, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate you stopping on by. Y'all know my philosophy on this YouTube shit. Be what you wanna, do what you wanna, and I'll see you lovely lads and lassies in the next episode. So until then, my friends, take care, take it easy, and peace.